Ladies and gentlemen, I begin recording this episode with a sense of unfamiliarity. It's a bit strange because I hadn't planned to record what I'm about to say. I had another topic in mind and had already recorded part of it. I should have finished that one, but then I had a very interesting conversation with a friend of mine just 2 days ago. After that conversation, I suddenly felt compelled to talk about this instead. I really wanted to share it, though I do feel a bit guilty because the friends who helped me with editing will receive the audio a little late. Specifically, I was 2 days late in sending it to them, and as you know, it's all on a tight schedule. So I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank those who support me in editing and producing the final audio or video versions. Sometimes gratitude is simply recognizing what we're receiving, and I think that awareness itself is nourishing, like a current running through your body. Back to the story from the other day. I met someone who I believe was in a state of real despair. Despair about many things. Family issues, work issues, health issues. I could sense they were in full-on panic mode. It was as if they had no lifeline left. Have you ever met someone in such a state of despair? What is despair in the simplest, most understandable terms? It's when there's no hope left to cling to. Losing hope means waking up tomorrow knowing things will only get worse. If you were in that kind of situation, how would you handle it? I think many people would feel like their brain is about to explode, spinning in circles like a computer infected with a virus, frozen, overheating, doing nothing, shutting down repeatedly. That was exactly how my friend felt. During the conversation, sometimes they raised their voice uncontrollably, and sometimes they just sat there frozen, like I said, like a frozen computer. I wasn't prepared for this. I didn't know my friend was in such a state because, based on our text conversations beforehand, I thought everything was normal. But as soon as I walked into the cafe and saw their face, I thought, oh my God, they look so gaunt. Sunken cheeks mean not eating or sleeping well. You can often tell when someone's been sad for a long time. Sunken cheeks, dark eye circles, you know they're carrying something heavy. I was shocked. I hadn't prepared to meet my friend like this. So right away I asked, instead of the usual, how are you? How's work? I just said, did you sleep at all last night? That one simple question somehow struck a nerve, and my friend looked like they were about to cry. And suddenly it occurred to me. Maybe no one's checked in on this person in a long time. My friend replied, honestly, it's been a while since I've really slept at all. And I thought, wow, this is serious. So I suggested, let's order something warm today. No coffee, so you don't lose more sleep. Maybe some chrysanthemum tea, something cozy. I tried to soften the mood because I could see clearly that they were in crisis. They agreed, though it seemed like they didn't really care what they drank. What they needed was someone to talk to. And so unexpectedly, I had to take on that role. It was strange because I'd known this friend as someone cheerful. We used to joke and laugh a lot. But now, here we were. We ordered hot tea and began talking. For the first half hour or so, I just listened. And I encouraged them. Go ahead, just talk. I'm here, I'm listening. Not zoning out, really listening. Say whatever you need to say. And as they spoke, I learned about so many of their recent failures, in business, in family, everything crashing down at once. Their eyes turned redder and redder, but interestingly, not a single tear fell. Just red, like someone with an eye infection. After listening, I thought, okay, this is a big issue, a tough one. This won't be solved overnight. It's like being in huge debt. There's no way to fix it in a day or two. And my friend's situation was like that. So I quickly thought of something that might help in the moment. Fortunately, the knowledge I'd read, absorbed into my skin and subconscious, came to me. I asked, have you ever experienced anything joyful before? My friend was confused. What kind of question is that? I'm upset right now. But I asked again, seriously, have you ever had happy moments in your life? A bit annoyed, they forced themselves to recall memories. And they did. The birth of their first child like a memorable trip. Someone who recently texted to check in. Turned out, people had checked in. They just hadn't noticed. So I pushed a little further. Described those happy moments in detail. I made them work for it. They started describing the day their wife was pregnant, the anxiety, the joy when their child was born, the sleepless but happy nights of anticipation. As they spoke, I could see their face light up, like they'd just taken a youth potion. Their skin even seemed rosier. In that moment, they forgot their sadness, completely immersed in the joy. And after they finished, I asked, "Hey, do you feel a bit better now?" And my friend, surprised, said, "Yeah, weirdly, I do, even though I'm still deeply sad." That's when I began my actual message. Right now, you're too sad to hear any theory, so I had to show you it works. You see, it works. Our minds can choose how to respond to the world. Yes, negative thoughts can drown us, but we can also choose better ones, even temporarily. It doesn't mean we're ignoring our responsibilities or debts or problems, but it does mean we don't have to be consumed by them 24/7. There's an exercise. Think about the good things in life. Science backs this up. Recalling positive memories improves your mood and even your biology. It literally makes you healthier. You've heard it before, a smile is worth 10 doses of medicine. And it's true. Studies show people who laugh and smile often live longer. Some people are born more cheerful, naturally more sensitive to joy. They're rare. But if you're not one of them, then treat it as a skill you can develop daily. That's basically what I told my friend. So now you can't say you don't know. I just demoed it on you, and it clearly worked. You can be sad, fine. Life's still hard, but every day make space to immerse yourself in joyful memories or even dreams. Visualize it. Even fantasy helps. Because if there's no hope in reality, we can find hope in our minds. And that can be enough to keep going. In fact, athletes often visualize their success before a game. Basketball players who imagine making shots, just visualize it, tend to perform better. Coaches use this now. The brain can be trained to think positively, and those thoughts can sustain us through real-life challenges. So today's exercise may sound silly. Why train your brain to think happy thoughts? That's childish. But if it leads to happiness, then who cares? Even children, in their dreamy Disney-fueled imaginations, often glow with joy when describing their fantasy worlds. Adults may call it kid stuff, but try measuring their happiness and brain activity. You won't match it. Sure, as adults, we can't reclaim a growing child's body, but mentally, why judge a master of happiness? We should learn from kids. We should dream more. We should deliberately seek beauty, joy, and memory. Even if it's unrealistic, it's still valuable. Today, when you pick up your instrument and it feels hard, imagine instead. Picture yourself playing your favorite songs. Feel that joy. Your brain will release happy hormones even just from imagining. Sometimes that effect is as powerful as the real thing. So if success feels too far off, let your dreams give you energy. That's not weakness. That's wisdom. Just to be clear, I've said before, don't live entirely in your head. This doesn't contradict that. We shouldn't live in fantasy, but we can use it as a tool, a compass, to move forward. Back to my friend. Those few minutes of happiness helped them relax, made them believe in life again, reminded them that despite all the pain, their life also held intense joy, and the person who hurt them the most once shared in that joy. That realization brought clarity, and I think that's a good start. Maybe the sadness will come back. Maybe it's already waiting outside that cafe, but at least now I showed them a path. Because when you're lost, you don't need much, just a path. They had the strength to walk, they just needed to see where. And I showed them one.